Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Hard Hit, a Korean thriller from 2021. That's a remake of the Spanish film Retribution from 2015. A bank executive's car is set to explode, and the only way he can avoid it is to transfer a large sum of money to the villain. Now, if I plan to watch a movie and I realize that it's a remake of another film, I always try to watch the original movie first, if it's available. Fortunately, Retribution is available on various streaming services, so I watched it before checking out the Korean remake. In terms of the original, almost the entire film takes place in the car, which kind of restricts creativity to a degree. It does get a little repetitive at times, but there's more than enough tension to keep things engaging. Direction and performances are very solid. There's also some pretty cool, lengthy camera shots to enjoy. I think Retribution is a good flick. So how does this Korean remake stand up to the original? Before we get to that, I found a fun little fact about Hard Hit. This is the directorial debut of Kim Chang-chu, a longtime editor who has worked on a number of high-profile Korean movies. He worked on War of the Arrows, The Terror Live, Snowpiercer, The Admiral, Roaring Currents, VIP, The Witch Part 2, and a bunch of others. And I always find it kind of interesting when someone takes a directing gig for the first time, especially if they've been contributing in other filmmaking areas for a long period of time. You just kind of wonder if they can successfully make that transition. And I think in this case, he does a good job as director. Very professionally and capably directed. He got good performances from the actors. His oversight on the camera work and other technical aspects is solid. And he actually did win some awards in Korea for Best New Director for his work on Hard Hit. So that's good. No big problems there. But this is the kind of story that makes it easy to root for the main character. He's put in a very dangerous and difficult position along with his family, and you want to see him pull through. The plot, it does get a little unrealistic in spots, but the original did the same thing. Not a lot of action per se, but there are a few set pieces in here. We get more of a thriller vibe, though, I would think, and the potential bomb explosion in the car being the primary source of danger and suspense. But ultimately, my biggest problem with Hard Hit has really nothing to do with its overall quality. More to do with the filmmaker's vision. This is extremely similar to the original film. It's practically a carbon copy, with a few exceptions. There's for example, a cash drop scene that's a little bit different, and I did like it a little bit better in the remake because you actually see what's happening instead of events being described on the other end of the phone. The police standoff, there's a big police standoff, has one major variance between the films. But outside of those things, this is pretty much the same movie. And to be honest, I was kind of hoping for something different, a little bit more spice. Maybe even a higher octane version of Retribution. If you've ever seen the Benny Chan film Connected, you will remember that it was essentially a higher octane and more purely entertaining remake of Cellular. And that's kind of my problem with Hard Hit. It's a sufficiently entertaining movie, but it fails to establish its own identity. And it also fails to improve on the original, so it just kind of feels unnecessary. Kind of like how a lot of remakes feel. But in this case, the quality is pretty good. So, in some sense, I do kind of recommend Hard Hit if you want a good recent Korean thriller. But in all honesty, if I were to watch either one of these films again in the future, I would probably just watch the original. But both are available streaming if you're interested. And as always, I will see you next time.